The ethics of looking. When people talk about ethics in photography, the conversation usually focuses on the photographer. Was permission given? Was the subject treated with respect? Was the image created honestly? These are important questions, but there is another side of the conversation that is discussed far less often. The viewer. What responsibility do we have when looking at a photograph? At first, the question may seem unusual. After all, viewing an image feels passive. The photographer creates. The subject participates. The audience simply observes. Or do they? The truth is that looking is not as passive as it appears. Every time we view a photograph, we bring our own assumptions, experiences, and expectations with us. We interpret what we see. We make judgments. We create stories. In some cases, we may even believe we understand the subject based on a single image. This is where ethics enters the conversation. A photograph shows a moment, but it never shows an entire life. No matter how powerful an image may be, it remains incomplete. The viewer sees only a fragment of reality. Yet human beings naturally fill in missing information. We look at a face and imagine a personality. We see a gesture and assume an emotion. We observe a scene and create a narrative. This happens automatically. The mind dislikes uncertainty. It prefers conclusions. But conclusions can sometimes be misleading. A photograph may suggest sadness when none existed. It may suggest confidence where there was nervousness. It may suggest intimacy, loneliness, strength, vulnerability, or countless other qualities that exist only in the imagination of the viewer. The image becomes a meeting place between what is shown and what is assumed. This creates an ethical challenge. How quickly should we decide who someone is based on a photograph? How much should we assume? How much should we leave unknown? In an age of social media, these questions have become increasingly important. People often encounter hundreds of images every day. Photographs appear, disappear, and are judged within seconds. A single image can influence public opinion, shape reputations, or create lasting impressions. Yet the viewer rarely knows the full story. The photograph becomes a shortcut, a quick way to form opinions. But shortcuts are not always accurate. The ethics of looking asks us to slow down, to recognize the limits of what a photograph can tell us, to remember that every image contains information, but also omission. There is always something outside the frame. Something unseen. Something unknown. This idea becomes even more significant when photographs involve the human body. Throughout history, artists and photographers have explored the body as a subject of beauty, identity, vulnerability, and expression. Yet viewers often bring their own interpretations to these images. Sometimes they focus on the artist's intention. Sometimes they focus on their own assumptions. The experience of viewing becomes part of the meaning itself. This does not mean viewers should avoid interpretation. Interpretation is a natural part of engaging with art. But ethical viewing requires awareness. An awareness that our perspective is not the only perspective. An awareness that every photograph contains complexity beyond what is immediately visible. Perhaps ethical viewing begins with humility. The understanding that a photograph can offer insight without offering complete knowledge. That we can appreciate an image without claiming to fully understand the person within it. That we can remain curious without becoming judgmental. The most thoughtful viewers are often those who leave room for uncertainty. They resist the urge to turn every image into a simple conclusion. Instead, they remain open to possibility. Open to questions. Open to multiple interpretations. In the end, the ethics of photography does not belong solely to photographers. It belongs to everyone who participates in the experience of seeing. Because every photograph involves three people. The person behind the camera, the person in front of the camera, and the person looking at the image. Each brings something to the story. Each influences its meaning, and each carries a responsibility that extends beyond simply looking. The next time you encounter a powerful photograph, pause for a moment. Ask yourself not only what you see, but what you assume, because sometimes the most important ethical question is not how a photograph was made. It is how it is viewed.